Hi guys, thanks for joining us and welcome to today's webinar. So I'm Charlie and I'm from Instant Impact. And in case you haven't watched one of our previous webinars or you don't know who we are the UK's leading graduate recruitment agency. And what we do is we set up kind of the very best graduates from top universities with paid internships and jobs at fast-growing SMEs and startups. So if you think that you might be interested in working for a small or medium-sized business or just finding more about them, then you can visit our website or get in touch. So today what I'm going to be talking about are competency questions in interviews. And competency questions are something that most graduate interviews, and to be honest, most interviews will involve. But it's important to get to grips with them and to be prepared for them. So probably worth talking about first off is what exactly are competency questions? And competency questions are basically questions where the interviewer or the employer wants an example of a time when you've displayed certain skills in the past. So they're when you're asked to prove that you have the skills that they're looking for with regards to the job with a specific example from the past. And they're about interviewers wanting to know a bit about your history and what that can tell them about you as a worker and a person. So what this means is that these types of questions can come in kind of a huge range of areas and styles, but there are a few fairly common examples, and they're often focusing on times when you've delivered change or managed conflict or improved performance, or often a time when you've had to deal with a crisis or something. So a common competency question might be something along the lines of, this is a very client-based role, so have you had experience in the past which shows you can effectively meeting new people or dealing with problems with clients or anything like that in a professional context. So whilst they are going to vary massively, as I've said, between sectors and depending on the level of responsibility of the job, the real constant is the need to stay personal and specific. Right, and really kind of can't stress that word specific enough. You need to focus on something you've done and how you fixed a problem. And that's the other thing. The other thing that's really important to remember when answering competency questions is that you did this specific thing. So what you want to do is avoid saying kind of we or the team too much and focus on what you personally did, okay? And this isn't going to make you sound arrogant or anything. It's just an important part of showing what you personally can bring to the company, to the office, to the team that you're applying to be a part of. So a good way of doing this, and another thing to remember in this situation, is what's known as the STAR technique or method. And STAR here stands for situation, task, action, and result. And yeah, it's just a good little acronym to bear in mind when answering a competency question, because it will make sure you do these things. And what it tells you to do is identify the scenario of the specific example you're talking about, explain what the task or duty was, detail what you did, and what effect your actions had on the situation. So yeah, situation, task, action, result. Pretty simple, but people do often get these wrong and forget those kind of things. So, for example, I work in marketing here at Instant Impact, and in my interview, I was asked to show that I'd be able to get in touch with and build a relationship with people I didn't know, and I was asked, for a past example that would show I could do that. And what I did is I identified a situation which happened when I was president of an English society at uni. The task was to source and entertain speakers for an event. So I went about tracking down the founders and owners of small publishing houses, corresponding via emails, and eventually meeting face to face. So that was kind of the action. And the result was that they gave a very successful talk to students and staff about the industry and their growing business. And that's really kind of the bare bones of an answer there. That's going by STAR, talking very specifically about things that I did. But there might have been other people, on the team or whatever doing different things, but that's what I did. And yeah, a specific example. And so for a lot of you, your best examples will like mine be kind of from a non-professional environment, and that's fine. So I'd worked in hospitality a lot before that, but that didn't involve going out and kind of sourcing people. So this seemed more relevant in the interview. Um, and if at university or elsewhere you've led a project, or you've captained a sports team, hosted an event, I don't know, directed a play, anything where you as an individual displayed the kind of qualities they're asking for, the kind of, if it's leadership or anything like that, then those are going to impress in an interview. And you don't have to be worried that they might not be professional examples, because your interviewers, they have your CV, they know a bit about your background, and actually these extracurriculars can be really attractive to employers. And the other thing I think is worth mentioning is that every now and then you might get given a competency question that you think is designed to kind of cast you in a negative light. And so by that I mean something along the lines of, what is the worst communication situation that you've experienced? Or, tell us about a time when you've received negative feedback and how you've handled that. And yeah, it's important to not be put off by this, okay? The interviewer isn't trying to trip you up or anything. So just answer honestly, remembering the kind of be specific, be personal thing, and make the focus of the answer about what you learned from that situation. So employers are going to value someone who is self-reflective and eager to learn from their mistakes. And you just have to show them that you're that type of person, and show them that you have a track record of doing that, of correcting mistakes and learning from them. So I had a question again along these lines, and it was about a time when a problem resulted kind of from basically when I might have failed to do something. And I identified a time when I was on a university ski trip committee, and the company made some kind of drastic changes and really treated us pretty badly. So I talked about how I'd had to communicate with the company and the trip goers, and to make sure I was very much on hand in resort to sort out the problems. As a result of this, the trip went far more smoothly than it could have done. But what I really learned was a lot about contract and negotiations, and those are skills going forward that I would hope, it make it kind of a worthwhile experience overall. So just being aware of your shortcomings, but as long as you learn from them, it's kind of nothing to be ashamed of. And anyway, those are the kind of main things I would say about competency questions. So really the key things to remember again are the STAR method, where you break down the situation to clearly show what you did and what happened as a result. To be specific with your answers. So don't say kind of, oh, I would do this, or in the past the sort of thing I've done is, identify a specific occasion and answer the question with that. And the third thing that's really important is to talk about yourself, because a lot of people do fall into the trap of whether it's kind of just natural to them, or they don't want to seem, like they're talking about themselves. It's great that you want to give credit to a team, but this is really the time to highlight what you did and how you contributed, because it's your interview, kind of you're like the star of the show here. Yeah. So anyways, I really hope that's been helpful. And if you want to find out more or get in touch, have a chat to someone, then that's absolutely great. Get in touch on our website. That's instant-impact.com. And we've also got an events week coming up in June, where you can come in, learn about a few different sectors and industries, or just get someone to kind of look at your CV, give you some advice, have an informal chat, anything like that. So the details of that are also on our website. So definitely check it out. Anyway, thanks a lot, and I hope you enjoyed that, and see you soon for the next one. Okay, bye.